Hello everyone, welcome to this presentation, The Changes in the Financial World Coming from Social Media, a graduation project prepared by Yousef Business School, European University. Internet is widespread nowadays and has a lot of important functions in everyday life, like looking for any type of information and jobs, and personal or business communication, which has tremendously developed through what is widely known as social media. Social media engage users in new opportunities, reconnecting with old friends, sharing ideas, learning about other cultures and societies, and enhancing potential career opportunities are all various effects of social media. All types of companies and organizations may also use social media as an easy and attractive tool, which saves money, effort, and time. This wide use of social media caused life-changing effects on the financial world. In other words, social media have become a need rather than a want. Companies, organizations, and universities may use social media in a variety of ways and for several purposes. For instance, social media can become a new growth engine that is integral to the financial institution's business, as online marketing gives financial institutions several advantages regarding customer engagement and selling improvement with minimum risk. Some charitable or social organizations get donations via social media funds, so they communicate with donors and the needy more efficiently. Some colleges and training centers achieve popularity through social media. With no or minimum ads fees, or even the well-equipped class environment, they can spread their services in various regions in the world, reaching a large number of trainees. For example, Smart Business Academy in Sweden provides online training courses via WhatsApp, Facebook, and email. Today's overall financial platforms rely on social media, which will open its social doors to facilitate financial processes, leading to revolutionary changes to the financial world. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and other social networks not only have made their processes and increased brands' presence, but they have also increased their value rapidly, from a few hundreds of dollars to billions. Their growth is still ongoing. It's now obvious how significant social media are in our lives, which justifies the choice of this topic for research. The primary objective of this research is to study the effects of social media on finance. This research has a secondary objective, to study the financing of social media platforms. In this chapter, we will highlight some definitions and results of relevant previous studies to form the basis for the current research. Social media are basically internet-based applications. The term social media is defined according to the Oxford Dictionary as websites and applications used for social networking, while social networking is defined as the use of dedicated websites and applications to communicate with other users. Websites and applications dedicated to forums, microblogging, social networking, social bookmarking, social curation, and wikis are among the different types of social media. This figure demonstrates the leading social networks worldwide as of April 2016, ranked by number of active users, reported by Dave Chaffee in Global Social Media Research Summary 2016. The report shows the top 5 social media applications of stable popularity: Facebook, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, QQ, and WeChat. However, it's worth saying that when comparing the most popular social networks, it's best to review them by active account usage, not just the number of user accounts. Chaffee also found that Facebook highly dominated the social landscape, with 63% penetration and 15 days average monthly engagement. According to Claire Wardle from Tau Center for Digital Journalism, Social media started in newsrooms, causing their complete disruption in just 7 years, and continues spreading beyond that. Social media affects the way the whole organization runs, whether it be because of digital marketing or new customer service communication channels. The 2015 Social Media Marketing Industry Report on how marketers are using social media to grow their businesses surveyed over 3,700 marketers with the goal of understanding how they're using social media to grow and promote their businesses. The primary findings of the report show that the majority of social media marketers are highly engaged with different social media apps. The 2014 Social Media Marketing Industry Report on how marketers are using social media to grow their businesses surveyed 2,800 marketers and had interesting results demonstrated in these pie charts. The overwhelming majority, that's 97%, indicated their participation in social media marketing, while a significant 92% of marketers said that social media was important to their businesses. This is an increase from 86% total agreed in 2013. Due to their significance, social media will be studied from two perspectives. The first is the company's use of social media, and the other illustrates the financial value of social media platforms. Companies tend to use social media in their businesses for various reasons. The emergence of social media provided multi-leveled interaction, leading to noticeable improvement in business growth. However, an establishment that intends to employ social media in their business must first possess adequate data analytical skills to get the most out of social media marketing. Another aspect to be considered in the context of social media and business is e-commerce. Online shopping has become a worldwide trend. Social media opened the door for sharing, recommending, and reviewing products and brands, in addition to simulating the physical buying experience. Social networking is based on that valuation is generated from trusts within specific social networks, and therefore can improve profitability, effectiveness, and efficiency of advertising. Understanding how social networks are used and how they shape purchasing decisions is one of the fundamental interests of e-commerce. A profound example on employment of social media in e-commerce is the study of Wally and Koshi in 2014 on the Emirati women entrepreneurs' remarkable use of Instagram in marketing their own small businesses, which worked conveniently on different cultural and economical levels. E-commerce advertising is one of the primary ways for online marketers to promote their products or services on e-commerce platforms. Currently, we notice that e-commerce advertising has been prevalent in social media platforms, especially in the top-rated social networking sites. This is based on high user traffic. Social media is also used widely as a flexible, consumer-engaged, promotional, and cost-effective marketing tool. This leads to greater access to different audiences, improved customer service, improved products and services, and adoption of favorable pricing practices. Information-rich websites using social networking has a positive effect on consumer communication, which is in turn reflected on the development of the business. Customer loyalty is built, and long-term connection is established, brand awareness is increased, and business organization reputation is supported. Crowdfunding is funding a project or venture by raising monetary contributions from a large number of people. It's performed via various offline and online methods. Crowdfunding is a form of alternative, non-conventional finance. The crowdfunding model is based on three types of actors: the project initiator, who proposes the idea and/or project to be funded, individuals or groups who support the idea, and the platform that brings the parties together to launch the idea. The provision of new sources of finance to small businesses is emerging in part through the rise of digital platforms offering peer-to-peer lending and crowdfunding. Another interesting development has been the emergence of reward-based crowdfunding for entrepreneurs and new small businesses looking to fundraise, develop new ideas, and pre-sell exciting new projects. Currently, according to Jeremy Waite, there are 12 social media platforms with more than 100 million users, and the number of users is rapidly growing. Since 2013, notable news events and information continue to be released on Twitter, grabbing the interest of the financial community, thus leading to the emergence of second class of companies focusing on social media analytics for finance. Financial institutions can have an early access to a large potential young customer base through social media, thus increasing its business potential over the life of the customers tapped at a young age. The uses of social media can be categorized as either external, engaging customers and other external stakeholders of the financial institution, or internal, where the activities are directed towards the employees of the firm. In this context, social media can be used in a firm as an effective, cost-saving tool as the first level of customer query resolution. Sheeman finds out that although banks do not heavily favor one valuation technique over another, there is a clear tendency for those reports using a multiple approach to use the typical EV/EBITDA multiple. The in-depth analysis of the reports on each individual company suggests that banks do not form their evaluations based on industry-wide conventional metrics, but instead focus on data that is relevant to each specific company. Sheeman focuses on the analysis of the information used in equity research reports. The researcher uses interviews as a tool of research, as well as valuation methods by which banks, funds, researchers, and investors calculate the value of a firm. In this study, Piotr Wajnawski makes up the most established social media benchmark, the Solactive Social Media Index, and reviews the investment case for social media against the backdrop of other equity markets. This leads us to believe that any successful investment strategy focused on social media should be highly selective. Wajnawski concludes that social media are an emerging industry whose commercial fundamentals are still shaping up and still struggling through the market. Its volatility exceeds market averages, and the historical trading performance is trailing behind all major equity indices. These characteristics lead us to believe that the future commercial success of social media will depend on market consolidation as well as disciplined commercialism combined with sustained innovation. In the present study, we are attempting to answer two main research questions. First question: what are the effects of social media on finance? Do social media really change or add to the stereotypical financial methods used? Why has it changed financial world? The second research question is: how do social media platforms create their financial market value? What are the financial tools used by social media platforms? How do these companies raise their capital? What is the market value of social media business? The significance of this study lies in its comprehensive look to social media. The research combines both the company's use of social media in business and the business of social media networks in different regions of the world. It also makes use of qualitative and quantitative approaches and uses a variety of instruments. The research made use of quantitative and qualitative approaches. It used the tools of questionnaires, interviews, and case studies of certain social media companies. A questionnaire of 20 closed items and 5 open-ended items were directed to 5 companies to know the effects of social media on their work. Interviews with some managers were held to recognize companies' growth due to social media. The data research were analyzed and summarized. The population of study consists of 16 participants. 12 participated in questionnaires and 4 were interviewed after obtaining their signed and verbal consent. The piloting sample of participants were interviewed to recognize their opinion about social media, being encouraged to answer the open questions frankly. Designing the instrument involved certain tasks. First, literary research for relevant interviews and questionnaires. Second, selection of suitable items and applying proper modifications and additions to them. Next, consulting professors to verify the content validity. After that, verifying the content reliability by applying it on a piloting sample of 10 persons using social media for business. Finally, modification of unclear items and omitting unnecessary ones. The interview consisted of 7 open-ended questions to recognize persons' opinions about the business of social networks, while the questionnaire consisted of 20 closed items to be answered by either strongly agree, neutral, disagree, or strongly disagree. 1 evaluative item to be answered by either excellent, good, so-so, poor, or very poor, and 5 open-ended items that ask participants to write their own comments about social media. The open-ended items enrich the questionnaire and can be considered a type of semi-interviews that present a qualitative idea about participants' perceptions of social media. After designing questionnaires, piloting them, and verifying their reliability and validity, they were distributed and the participants' questions about them were answered. Later on, the questionnaires were analyzed using proper statistics to derive the results of analysis. Percentages were calculated to consider participants' perceptions and to deduce the highest and lowest value of each item in questionnaires, while the answers of the interviews were discussed with 2 colleagues to induce the impacts of social media on business. The percentages of questionnaire participants' perceptions of social media in companies' business are listed in Table 1. One notices that some items get 100% strongly agree or high percentages of agree. It is also obvious that 19 items get 0% strongly disagree, which is a clear indication that there are no negative perceptions towards the effects of social media in companies' business. The percentages of the interviewees concerning their evaluation of the social platform's business are demonstrated in Table 2. The analysis of questionnaire results show that most participants have positive perceptions towards social media. The questionnaire items tackle different effects of social media on business. Diagram 1 shows percentage perceptions towards the effects of social media on business. Calculating the total percentage of answers shows that 39% strongly agree with the items of questionnaire, and 39.5% agree, whereas 15.5% are neutral in their assessment of social media, 5% disagree, and only 0.5% strongly disagree. Consequently, most participants strongly agree or agree with the effects of social media on business that are mentioned in questionnaire items. Diagram 2 shows that the overall evaluation of the effects of social media on business was very positive. 30% answered excellent, 60% answered good, only 10% answered so-so, and none answered poor or very poor. Diagram 3 shows the overall rating of social media platforms' business. The interviewee's evaluation of the financial benefits that social platforms get was very impressive. 3 interviewees answered absolutely yes to the item, "The business of social platforms was profitable." Only 1 interviewee answered yes, and no one answered in negation. The results of the questionnaire help to answer the primary research questions. The effect of social media on finance are shown in the positive perception of questionnaire items. Participants have agreed in the closed items to all the positive effects of social media to business, like customer interaction improvement and increase in company overall efficiency. Moreover, the participants' answers on the open items in the questionnaire state the social media increase circulation, profits, production, and sales. They confirm that social media have invented new financial techniques such as e-trade and e-commerce. They also remark the changes that social media cause in the financial world by adding modern financial methods such as e-banking, credit cards, and e-marketing. The answers to the interviews tackle the secondary research questions, exploring role of social media in business market value and their contribution in business investment. The interviewees pointed out that social media companies create their financial market value through ethics, competition, and good marketing communication using several tools like bank loans and credit cards. In addition, social media companies raise their capital through partnership and financiers. After all, the market value of social media business is based on active users, the number of which determines the size of advertisements. Interestingly, the interviewees also believe that social media can create value and money without the need of a capital or investment. This is achieved basically by building lasting relationships with customers, adopting creative ideas, and enhancing the publicity of applications among users. Interviewees also believe that continuous innovation of fresh ideas is one of the major keys to maintaining market value, referring to the rapid boredom of customers. In their opinion, interviewees see the worldwide spread of smartphones with all their user-accessible features as a major contribution to the revolutionary financial changes, reflected in the subsequent availability of all social media applications which are easily downloadable to smartphones. The overall findings of the present research can thus be summarized in a few bullet points. Questionnaire participants had positive perceptions towards social media, mostly strongly agree with the effects of social media on business. Interviewees had impressively positive evaluation of the financial benefits that social platforms get. Social media have numerous benefits to business organizations, and they cause dramatic changes to the business and financial world. Capital is not of significance. Creative idea is. All social media platforms and applications can be downloaded easily on smartphones, which is considered the major contribution to their viral worldwide spread. This study revealed multiple implications and recommendations for companies and business organizations. Companies have to understand the value of social media on their brands and how to measure it, understand the customer's evaluation process and map the customer touch points to social media using surveys or online polls, and use social media channels as a tool for communicating with and marketing to customers. In addition, this study recommends that companies should make use of updating websites, use social media to promote their offers, and tap into their social audience on different social media applications. There are 2 main limitations of this study. One is that the research objectives were too many for a graduation project, and the other is that the population of the study was relatively small. Further research on this topic might consider employing a larger, more diverse sample for complete and detailed study. It is suggested that the most effective practices for improving attendees' expectations and perceptions of special events through social media are to be explored. It would be better if one hypothesis is covered rather than both in one study, either to study the effect of social media on business or to study the business of social media platforms. Finally, the world of modern technology is an undeniable revolution in modern history of humanity, and social media networking is nothing more than one step on the road to the unknown yet promising future. Thank you all for listening.